Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough. His name is Logan Tomlinson. He is a wide receiver out of New Hampshire. Nice to have you today, sir.
Absolutely. Great to be here.
So, Logan, definitely had a journey for yourself and ultimately getting there to New Hampshire. Previously a D3 guy at Wesleyan, and right now you've become a hot target in that offense. So, Logan, go ahead and introduce yourself and we'll get started.
Absolutely. My name is Logan Tomlinson. I am from Manchester, Connecticut. I went to school, Manchester High School. Out of high school, went to Wesleyan University. Was there for 3.5 years. Played football there for 2 years before transferring to the University of New Hampshire. And I've been here for 2 years now. Grateful to be here. Happy to be here on the podcast.
Nice. And obviously last year eligibility.
Yes, sir.
It's certainly been a journey because I mean a lot of people these days like we're still dealing with like the remnants of that
Yeah.
pandemic year where
Yeah.
we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So obviously taking full advantage of the opportunity there, going to New Hampshire. But let's go ahead and take us as far back as we can. Logan, how long have you been playing the game of football?
Yeah, I've been playing football since 6 years old. I have two older brothers. They were wrestlers in high school. So wrestling was my first sport at 5. And then I tried out football at 6, tried out basketball at 6. And those are my three big sports I stuck with for 5 or so years. Um, Ended up dropping wrestling, much to my two brothers' dismay, and ran with football and basketball for my whole youth. Um, Played both through high school, and then as college came, um, I ended up going to Wesleyan, and for a second I thought about trying to play both at Wesleyan. That did cross my mind. We have some two sport guys, but I went into college as a quarterback, so I figured as a freshman quarterback the best chance I would have at playing would be to devote as much time as I could to football. So, um, to took a step away from basketball there and has been just football since.
So let me get this straight. So you said that you were, I guess, originally recruited as a quarterback. Is that kind of how
Uh,
that worked?
Yes, sir. So, growing up, I played quarterback most of my life. You know, Pop Warner football, you do a little bit of everything, but I was a quarterback through and through. I remember I was the summer going into ninth grade. I went to the high school head football coach, Roy Roberts, still a great friend, mentor of mine to this day. Um, and I said, I've played receiver, I've played quarterback. What group do you want me to go with? And he said quarterback, and that kind of sealed the deal there. So I played quarterback all through high school. Got recruited as a quarterback, and it wasn't until COVID actually, that sophomore year of COVID, where we had guys who took semesters off. We were low on numbers. I kind of started doing both receiver and quarterback, just really to help with practice reps, things like that. And then my junior year, the year after COVID, was my first full year at receiver.
Gotcha. Hey, so far for you, you've done well with it. You were an all-conference athlete at wide receiver at Wesleyan. And it's obviously the position for you, so it works.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, uh, and you said you have some brothers who did some wrestling,
Hmm.
but that really wasn't your sport. As you I guess grew into your youth.
Yeah.
I want to just double check. Did you say you were doing anything else in high school, like basketball or something?
Yeah, basketball. So I'd be remiss to not note, uh, as a little guy, 7, 8 years old, I was a state champion wrestler. So it's not that I wasn't cut out for it. It's just I didn't have the love for it, really.
Hey,
Um,
that's all it really is, and I mean that's
right.
all it really takes for
Yeah,
you to move on.
that's
But
right.
uh, certainly football, I guess, obviously is you love that more than you do wrestling. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's
Basketball
um
was a second. I had some love for that, but not the same as football. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, obviously, you spent a few years at Wesleyan, so we'd be remiss without talking about your time there. So, again, like I'd mentioned, you were an all-conference athlete there. Talk about your time there and really what ultimately led you to New Hampshire.
Yeah. Um, I had an amazing time at Wesleyan. It's about 30 minutes from home, so it's close to home. It's an amazing school. Great education. It's a phenomenal reputation. Um, and it's very deserving of that reputation. So, um, yeah, since my freshman year, it'd been an honor to be there. It was challenging academically for sure. That's part of, what it is when you go to a school like Wesleyan. But football was great. The staff was great. Kind of the culture there was great. And I have, you know, people I met there my freshman year who are my best friends for life. I talk to them on a daily basis now. So, um, it's definitely a contrast from there to here. There's a lot of differences. Um, but I'm very grateful for my time there. My last 2 years there playing receiver were some of the, most fun years, I've had playing football. My first time playing receiver, so it was kind of a new challenge for me. But taking it all in stride, I had a lot of people around me to learn from. And we had some really good teams there. So, we did a lot of good things there as a unit my last 2 years, and I was fortunate enough to perform well enough to have the opportunity to transfer afterwards. So after my senior year, I entered the transfer portal. That was I would say going into college, Division 3. I always wanted to play Division 1, as anyone did, but my feet were kind of where I was, right? I wasn't thinking about leaving this and that. I know that's a big sentiment now with the transfer portal, but I was content where I was. And after my senior year, I realized I had done enough where it was a possibility. So I entered the transfer portal and, I had some interest. I had a number of CAA schools that I had offers from. Um, and really, the deciding factor to me was I did my visits and I loved it here. The staff seemed genuine, very relatable. You could get a sense of the type of culture they had, just from the visit. Um, and everyone I trusted in the football world, my former coaches, peers, things like that, couldn't speak highly enough about New Hampshire, about the staff, about the program. So, kind of leaned on the people I trusted and made the decision to come here. And I'm so grateful I did. It's an amazing place. My last 2 years here have been, you know, extraordinary. So very grateful I've ended up here.
Yeah. So, again, we're talking to a guy who was at the Division 3 level. I know a lot of people have probably been doubting you like your whole life, starting out there, but then obviously proved that you can roll with these guys at the Division 1 level in the CAA, which if people don't really understand about the CAA, it is a very competitive conference where, quite honestly, any given team in that conference could really take hold and win that conference, like almost on a year-to-year basis.
Absolutely.
And like you said, I mean, coming out of there, coming out of Wesleyan, there's probably a handful of CAA schools that could have taken a chance on you, but luckily you had the opportunity to go to New Hampshire, where you know they've got good staff there, and
Hmm.
they've had a really good offense and plugged you in pretty nicely. So,
Absolutely.
and you did say, I mean, dude, let's be real. I mean, no offense to Division 3, but there's a huge difference
Oh yeah.
between D1 and D3 talent and really overall offenses sometimes.
Yeah.
What has been that difference for you personally?
Yeah. I would say, to your point, the physical differences are what I expected. I was prepared for that. Um, it's definitely a different world, but you have, like you say, your diamonds in the rough there, where you have a couple guys who could play at this level. So I had the opportunity to go against that caliber of talent, and it's not as common as it is here. That's for sure. But um, yeah, it wasn't completely new to me. But you come here and that's everywhere. Those that's commonplace now. So that physical jump was kind of what I expected. I think at the Division 3 level, I could rely on my athleticism, just being bigger, taller, faster, jump higher, whatever it may be to kind of get me through and find success that way. But at this level, that's not the case. Every little nuance has to be, near perfect. There's not as much room for error. So I think that's the biggest difference physically. And then mentally, to your point, a lot more is asked of you, you know, on the mental side of football here. So we have a lot more responsibility reading coverages, different option routes, pre-snap, being able to read defenses to know what we're going to do post-snap, things like that. Even in the run game, knowing who we're digging out in the run game. So I think the mental has been a challenge that I've appreciated. Having some background at quarterback, I think understanding offense at a holistic level is a little bit easier for me, and that gives me an upper hand. So yeah, two different worlds, but I think the segue has been fairly smooth.
Cool. And so obviously wide receiver
Yeah,
now, no longer a quarterback, although maybe perhaps some plays there for you if given the opportunity.
sure.
We can always just say maybe in the back of our minds, that's maybe throw like one of these like
Little double pass.
screen
Yeah,
things, like throwback. Yeah, 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 yeah. We
yeah,
can we can maybe see that. So I mean, that's a bit of a scouting thing, I guess, for some of the guys in the CAA there. So watch out.
yeah.
But what type of a receiver are you? Let's first start out, Logan. What's your current height and weight?
I'm about 6'3". Right now I'm about 208. In season you drop a couple pounds. Before the season I was up to about 212, which is where I like to be at. That's
Cool.
where I
So,
am.
how do you describe yourself as a wide receiver? Are you a possession guy, big physical up front, able to really, shed those guys,
Yeah.
really easily, at the line so that you can get beyond them and get open? Um, how do you describe yourself, as a receiver?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I pride myself on 50-50 balls. Um, I think, a red zone threat is somewhere that I see myself fitting. Um, a jump ball guy, a contested catch receiver. Um, I have the mindset that any ball in my area has to be mine, regardless of the situation. I think with my height and length, I have a big catch radius. Um, so I think those are some of my strong suits, contested catches, fade balls, red zone opportunities. That's kind of the type of receiver I see myself as, and kind of the traits that I think help me be successful.
Well, I mean, certainly when you have a guy your size, 6'3", 210 or whatever, like
Hmm.
I think if anything, your quarterback is saying, "Hey, there's this big guy who seemingly is always open because I can easily see him."
Yeah.
So maybe
Right.
that's how that works, dude. I don't know what goes on in the mind of your quarterback, but
Yeah.
certainly it's something that I would keep in the back of my mind is this there's this guy that can win those 50-50,
Yeah.
can maybe I don't know, be physical with the corner, in the red zone so that you can get
Absolutely.
open. Those things certainly help. Growing up in Manchester, Connecticut, who are you a big fan of, man? Like, was there a wide receiver, or I guess at the time it was probably a quarterback, so you're
Yeah.
probably a Tom Brady fan, right?
Okay. So no, I don't know if you see the Giants poster back there. I was
Oh,
a
there
Giant.
we go. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Giants
Sorry, I
fan
couldn't
growing
I
up.
couldn't see it with
Oh,
everything
no,
else going
no.
on back,
No, that's
but
all right.
I could certainly
Um,
appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. So I see the Redskins, so I don't know how I feel about that, but
It's okay. We can still be friends.
that's okay. Yep. Nah, growing up, my favorite player was actually Danian Tomlinson. We have the same last name. Um, He's Jamaican. I'm Jamaican. My father's from Jamaica. So I swore he was my uncle or family somehow for a lot of years. I'd written him letters when I was young. I had his jersey, all these sort of things. So Pop Warner, I wore 21 as a little kid, and he was my favorite player growing up. As I got older, like I said, been a Giants fan my whole life. So kind of ride or die for Eli Manning, when he was having a lot of success with the Giants. Um, and that was it growing up. Yeah, it was LaDainian Tomlinson, and then it went over to Eli Manning. Yeah,
Of course, that one, what is it, David Tyree catch?
the catch, absolutely.
The catch is beautiful.
Oh yeah,
Even before the catch, like the scramble and everything, dude, it was just a work of art.
it was.
So got to go back and watch it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So obviously you get guys like that who have influenced you, but also other people throughout your journey who have influenced you, whether it be teammates, coaches, even friends and family. Who would you say has been the most influential person for you throughout your athletic journey?
Man, um, I think it's unique because every step of the way, you find someone else that's going to have a big influence on you, a big impact on your life, on your career. I would say through and through, my parents, and I know that's cliche, but I'm so fortunate to have the support system I do in my parents and my two brothers. Um, just unwavering support of whatever decision I make, you know, at first, it was going to Wesleyan, and then it was deciding to enter the transfer portal. And, no one in my family played college sports. So this was all new to me, to my family. So, a lot of it can almost be scary. It's major life decisions at a young age. But to have that support system, to have my back no matter what decision I make, and to be there for me, day in and day out. My parents, my brothers, they push me, influence me to keep striving and being successful, whatever I may do. Yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate that. I mean, and of course, those guys there, they've been cheering for you again, starting back at Wesleyan, and then I'm sure they're in the stands too when you're at home, in New Hampshire. I don't know how that goes.
Oh,
Um,
they go wherever we go. They were at Central Florida with us. They had their hotel tickets planned out way before we did as a team, so they won't miss a
oh,
game regardless.
Definitely very loyal,
Yeah.
family base there who has been cheering for you. And along the way, I know that they've been able to witness a lot of great moments. For you, what do you think has been your favorite moment, favorite play, even throughout your time so far at either university?
Okay. I would say most recently, my favorite moment here at UNH was beating Maine last year in our season finale. Um, that's been a rivalry for years and years and years. And it was my first time taking part in that rivalry game. Um, when we play for the musket, and the team who wins has the right to have that old war musket in their locker room for the year. So you don't really know how much it means until you're in it. And just from that Tuesday, that first day of practice that week, you could kind of feel it that it was a little different this week. Um, so going into that game and being able to win at home, and keep that musket in the locker room, that was a really special feeling. Yeah, that was I would say that's one of my favorite memories playing football.
Great. And again, this is your second season at New Hampshire,
Yep.
and there's some talent there at New Hampshire. And I know last season I had the opportunity to talk to Dylan Laube, who's doing great things in the NFL right now.
Yep.
But who else is there, perhaps that we need to know of?
Oh yeah. I got a long list for you, but some names off the top of my head. Wande Owens, he's a transfer corner turned safety from Yale. And this is his first year here, and he's lighting it up. He's all over the field.
I know
Um,
all about him. So we're
oh yeah, he's a great guy. He's been a huge addition for us for our defense. Um, so he's a huge one. We have the two very highly touted DNs in Josiah Silver and Flex Ruiz. They've been All Americans in the past, and our D line is phenomenal this year, and that starts with two of them. Um, so they're exciting on defense. On the offensive side of the ball, our quarterback Seth Morgan, he's also a transfer, and he's done an amazing job his first year here, taking the reins, leading our offense, and we've been high powered, yeah, and largely due to him. So he's been an exciting addition as well.
I mean, definitely an exciting team overall. And dude, as I have mentioned before, like, the CAA is tough. Sometimes it can come down to like one play, one drive as
Yeah.
to the outcome of the game, of course.
Yep.
But you guys are still in it,
Yep.
despite a 4-4 record.
Yep.
You guys could still come out and you know, win these last games,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not trying to set you up one way or the other, but I mean,
Yeah.
I am just trying to give you guys some credit. I mean, there's a lot of great talent there, both
Hmm.
on offense and defense. So certainly a fun squad to be a part of.
Absolutely.
Um, Logan, I do want to take a moment to meet the guy under the helmet. You've talked a little bit about yourself, your family, and I just want to see if there's anything else perhaps that you want to share, hobbies, interests, special talents, likes, dislikes, or whatever. Man, give me something.
Man, I'm a pretty simple guy. Um, Football is a huge part of my life, so that's a big chunk of who I am. Um, Trying to think things I'm doing currently. Um, I work at a dog care facility. I love animals, dogs, cats, all the sorts. So that's a big part of my life, right now, making some money working there. I ref intramural basketball now that I don't play anymore. Put down the shoes, I picked up the whistle, and I do some refing here on campus,
It'd
which I
be such
love.
a tough job though, being a ref, people up in
Oh,
your
it,
face.
oh, it's very tough. No matter what you do, you're wrong. But it's a great time. It's I get
Sure,
to ref
sure.
some guys that I know on campus too, so I get to kind of pick on them a little bit here and there. Yeah, but that's fun. Outside of that, um, not too much. I've started to pick up golf. I'm not very great right now. Um, Play chess here and there. Pretty pretty simple guy. Football is a big part of it.
Cool. You said you had some Jamaican roots.
Yes.
Have you been there?
Yeah. So my father was born in Jamaica. He immigrated to Canada actually, and then eventually to the U.S. when he was 13. Um, and settled in Connecticut ultimately, where he met my mom and where I grew up. Um, we've been to Jamaica a number of times. When I was younger, our vacation every other year would be a cruise, because we had, myself, my two brothers, and my dad and my mom. So four boys, who ate a lot. And the most cost-effective thing to do was just to pay for an all-inclusive cruise, and you don't have to worry about paying for food anymore. So um, we do the cruise every other year, and we typically go somewhere in the Caribbean and try to go to one that stopped in Jamaica. So I've been there a couple of times. I went to Jamaica about a year and a half ago with my girlfriend for a week, which is an amazing time.
Awesome.
Um, so yeah, it's you can't beat the islands. So
Well, it's
I've been down
certainly
there.
nice.
Yeah,
And I was thinking about asking you a couple of other quick questions. Although I'm also looking at our time here and don't want it to run too long.
yeah.
But favorite home cooked meal?
Mom's a great cook. So anything she cooks, I will eat. But pasta and meatballs, if I had to pick one.
Awesome. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's karaoke night, and I'm giving the mic to Logan Tomlinson. What is he singing for the masses?
I'm gonna run out of the room and hide somewhere because I am not a singer. Um, Man, okay, here's what I'll do. We had to do this new players had to do this when they got to New Hampshire. You had to get up in the dining hall and sing in front of everyone. And I sang Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. It's not much of a
Well, I mean,
karaoke.
hey, I mean, if you're not going Bob Marley, I mean, then you're just
Exactly.
disrespecting your heritage.
Exactly. Right.
So,
Right.
but hey, that works out. Uh, Bro, obviously we've talked about your journey. You have a very unique one, whereas like you get a guy who um had been a quarterback. You went from recruited as a quarterback, you made the switch to wide receiver where you've seen the most success. Obviously, a big target out there. And you found your way to New Hampshire where you're playing now D1 ball. And you're really one of the top targets there in that offense, man. And I would imagine that there are some scouts that have been watching you, maybe last season as well as this season. And so
Mhm.
as we wrap up our time, I want to give you the opportunity to talk to those scouts, man. Tell them what they would be getting if they took a chance on you. So close us up with your final thoughts.
Yeah. As you alluded to, I think everything that I've done to get here has been earned. I'm not one to feel entitled to anything. Um, I played Division 3. I didn't start at first. I had to earn my right to start, fought for a starting job, switched positions to do so. Um, and then um, earn the right to have the opportunity to transfer up and earn a starting job here and earn a big role here. So I think, with everything I've been through in my football career, um, there's no sense of entitlement. I'm willing to work for whatever it is. Um, I'm willing to assume whatever role I need, to be successful for the greater good. And, once that was switching positions and maybe at the next step that'll look differently. That'll look like taking a bigger role on special teams or whatever that may be. Um, but I pride myself in being a selfless player, doing whatever's needed for the greater good and having no problem, fighting and working. Um, to put myself in a position to be successful at whatever it is I need to be successful at. Um, so yeah, I think, selflessness, hard working, a strong work ethic, um, are all things I bring to the table. And I'm just grateful to be here, grateful for an opportunity wherever that presents itself.
Great. Again, nice to have a person of good character and work ethic. Obviously, whatever you do, that's going to take you far. And so,
Thank
Logan,
you.
just want to wish you all the best moving forward. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much for having me. It was a great time.
Sure. Once again, we got Logan Tomlinson, wide receiver, New Hampshire. Check him out.
Yes, sir.